1841, the Bidwell-Bartleson Party started going west to try and explore a route to Oregon. They got to the Soda Springs area and half of them split off and tried to make it into California. By 1843, there had been enough publicity that hundreds of wagons started to work their way out to Oregon and create what's called the Oregon Trail. As more and more wagons went west, the people going to California would go up the Raft River, up Cassia Creek, so that became the Idaho parting of the ways on Raft River. Estimates are about 250,000 people traveled to California and ended up going through City of Rocks. So it was a very popular camping area. It was noted in a lot of diaries for these strange rock formations. It was given many different names by the immigrants, and many of them wrote their names on the large rock formations in the area.
City of Rocks is a really neat place. It's an area where we have 6.5 miles of the California Trail. There were many journal entries about the City of Rocks. Immigrants were really intrigued with what they saw as they came through the City of Rocks.
The National Park Service was recently able to purchase about 400 acres of Circle Basin, the main camping area in City of Rocks.
For years, the City of Rocks, we looked at that property as if we were going to acquire any new property, that would be kind of the gem that we would want because of the importance of the California Trail. I mean, the main reason for the City of Rock is the California Trail and its significance. The big part about the Circle Creek Basin, it's literally surrounded by the National Park Service, and when it was private property, it was surrounded like an island, basically, inside the boundaries of the reserve. Now it's become part of the City of Rocks, and so it's no longer that private property island. It's going to allow the public access for really the first time in hundreds of years to be able to go in there and see parts of the California Trail. That's a big reason why the NPS was really excited about the opportunity to be able to get that ground and to be able to open it to the public. We're excited to be able to help and interpret the California Trail even more.
As part of what they have to do for purchasing a property like that, they have to conduct a survey of that property.
We have a really great relationship with OCTA, which stands for the Oregon California Trail Association. They come out once a year and they have done so much for us here at the park. They help us with our research, and they came out this year also because of this new acquisition.
I'm Jerry Eichhorst, president of the Idaho chapter of the Oregon California Trails Association. And I've been working with Trenton and Tara, the lead archaeologists here, for a number of years down here at City of Rocks. We've got a great partnership. This is the biggest event we've ever had here. We're not sure what we're going to find, but expectations are high. Typically in campground areas, you might find things that had fallen off a wagon or been left behind, which the metal detectorists should be able to find. There may also be graves, and we've got a number of trained search dogs here today. Tara, the lead archaeologist, is going to be in charge of everything, and we'll do what she says.
So what we're doing is we are walking north-south transects. There's going to be about 10 meters in between each crew. So your archaeologist will be in the middle, and then within 2.5 meters or so on either side are the metal detectorists. If you have a find, we ask that you stop, investigate. You guys are more than free to dig them up yourself. Our archaeologist will take data on those finds.
I'm Alex Bottom, president of Treasure Valley Metal Detecting Club. We've got 10 detectorists here at City of Rocks National Park, and we're very excited. We're get the first crack at helping the archaeologists here identify what's under the ground.
It was made very clear to the metal detectors that anything that they found belonged to the park. They wouldn't be taking anything home for their own. And so whenever they had a hit on their metal detector, they'd call over the archaeologists and somebody would dig up whatever the object was. The archaeologists would bag and tag it. They would take note of the location, time, the date, and so on. Put it in a bag so it can be studied and possibly displayed in a new visitor center in the future.
They bring their metal detectors, which Normally when people come to the parks, they're not allowed to do that, but this is for research purposes where they're finding artifacts and trying to find remnants of the peoples who were here before. The value of the metal detectors is finding some of those things that can just prove to people that they were really here and we didn't make this up. This is real.
Searching an area with cadaver dogs to see if there were any immigrant burials. I found 2 possible sites. We're going to have the dogs come up and look at those now.
Cadaver dogs are trained to indicate on the scent of human remains. When a body decomposes, it releases what are called volatile organic compounds. And every living animal produces a different combination of chemicals in these VOCs. The cadaver dogs are trained to indicate on the human combination for VOCs.
She's trained on historical remains for native tribe work with Institute for Canine Forensics. She's a certified human remains detection dog. The best way to train for grave work was to go to a cemetery and work cemeteries.
So they're not actually looking for the human remains, they're smelling for the strongest source of odor. And just because that's where the most odor is available, especially in a burial type situation, doesn't necessarily mean that that's where the individual is located. For instance, say the individual is buried up on a little bit of a plateau, you could get odor, the most odor available downhill, say along a bank here. So that's where we come into play, that's where the metal detectors come into play, and that's where other people come into play to try to kind of fill in the other pieces of the puzzle.
To watch these dogs work out through the sagebrush, to watch the metal detectorists. Most of the artifacts were ranching and farming artifacts. They did find a piece of hand-forged chain that was most likely from a California Trail immigrant. But it was interesting to see how excited everybody was to participate in this and how much fun it was.
We're going to be working with the National Park Service to see what we can and can't do. Some of the small things that we would do is open it up for more public access. There is an old historic road that goes through that property that will probably connect to some of our existing trails to give people a way to get through the property. For the most part, it's part of the California Trail. We want to leave it intact as much as possible so that when people come there, they can see the scene and see what the California Trail looked like and felt like for the individuals that traveled it.
But it goes to the left of this big rock with the notch in it.
I think it's so significant to learn about the past because I think the stories of our past give us strength as we're moving through our lives. When we can see the hard things that our ancestors have done and the great things that brought, I think that we can apply that to our lives. When we have hard times, we can look back and say, well, they walked for 5 or 6 months and left everything. It's a way of, I believe, creating stewardship. Because if someone has a connection with a place and they end up loving that place or caring deeply about that place, then they want to be a good steward of that place.